Hello, folks, and good afternoon. My name is Curtis. I am the owner of Move4ALL Incorporated in Orlando, Florida, a family-owned relocation corporation in business since 1993. I do have a small list today that I would like to go over with you. It's basically why I feel that you should use our moving company for your upcoming relocation, whether you're residential or commercial, local or long distance. We'll start out with first things first. We'll dive right in just a little bit about myself. I am a devout Pentecostal Gideon Christian. What that means for you is, and I don't mean just on Sundays either, folks. I mean Sunday through Sunday. That's the way that I treat my business. It's the way that I treat myself, and that's the way that I treat my family. So the good news is for you is no matter what your religious preference is, I do stick to those standards and those rules for myself and for my business and my family. And you will only benefit from that for working with us. And I'm going to tell you some of the reasons why. We'll jump into the first things first. Even above professionalism, I know what's going to most likely be obviously very important to you. Most people, no matter what financial status you're in, have a budget for their moves with closings on homes, even first last security on rental units. There's a lot of other expenses going on besides moving, and moving is an expense in its own. So I do understand a budget, and I do my best. We do our best here to keep customers within their budget, and I'm going to tell you the reason why and how we do that too. We are the mover for the Orlando Museum of Art, for Wayfair, for the Pods Corporation. They refer us as well to folks. The list goes on in the last 23 years of doing business. But don't let that scare you, or the fact that I can assure you that as of right now, to my knowledge, I am the highest paying in Orlando and maybe even Florida for seasoned professional journeyman movers. Okay, I recruit these movers from major cities, Dallas, Chicago, Detroit, throughout Massachusetts, New York. The majority of the people that work for us, the men that work for us, and even some women, they're lead men. They are not helpers. Okay, and a lot of moving companies, you'll get one lead man, and you'll get a couple of guys that make $10 or $11 an hour that they find off the street, and we just don't do that here. You have to have a minimum of 4 years experience even to walk through our front door, and anybody with any less than that or even around that experience will start you out in the warehouse first, and you have to prove yourself and work your way up before you start going into a customer's home. So our rates are median price range. The only thing that I check up on my competitors with, the only thing that I care about with my competitors is obviously that we stay at a competitive price. We're not going to be the highest. We don't have the overhead as some of the major van lines. We're not going to be the lowest. You won't find us on Thumbtack or Craigslist or any of these places where you'll find unlicensed, uninsured movers either, or inexperienced movers. You won't find us there either. So we're in the middle. We're median price range. Getting back to professionalism, there's two types of movers in this world, folks. There's the movers that will go in and disassemble everything, pad wrap it and shrink wrap it in the home and in the room, which will not only protect the furniture, but it's going to protect your walls, your stairwells, your doorways, and then they take it out to the truck. And then there's movers that will disassemble things and take them out to the truck, and God knows what they did with them. Hopefully they at least threw a blanket over your furniture. Hopefully. They know the majority of the time the customer is usually not out there in the truck, they're in the house, and that's when you end up with damage, okay? But that's not the way that we run things here. We have strict rules with that. Our guys are very fast. They're very efficient. They move very quickly. They know they're not going to do damage, so they're not going to extend your time on an hourly rate. Actually, they're going to do just the opposite because of the fact that they know that they're not going to do damage, and they're going to get it done quickly, and they're going to be yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am. They're looking to put an extra $10 or $20 in gratuity in their pocket because that's how they supplement their income. At least that's how a professional mover that knows he's going to get gratuity at the end, that's how they supplement their income. And they feel that the more money that they save you on your move, the extra money you might have set aside with your budget to tip them for gratuity. Okay, moving on with my list here. Uh, no deposits. Other than out of state, with out of state moves, we definitely have to request a deposit like all moving companies. And the only reason for that is there's a lot involved before we even move you. We have to get food vouchers, we have to get hotel vouchers. There's a lot of things involved in sending professionals out of state. Okay, we have to get a gas card with the just a little bit above the right amount of fuel that they're going to need. We have to break down those rates. The average truck is 6 miles per gallon, even empty. So we break everything down, and we also do that when we're getting you your price, when we're getting you your flat rate not to exceed quote. So we do require deposits there, but we don't require deposits locally. We don't require deposits anywhere in the state of Florida or even locally here in Orlando. The reason for that is that as a Christian company, we trust our clients. We want our clients to trust us. You just call up and we just schedule you. And that's how simple it is. Morning, afternoon, or evening moves, they're all available. We even move offices overnight, so they're up and running the next day. So morning, afternoon, and evening moves are available with no deposits. All we ask is that in trusting in you, the part where it's trusting in you is that if you do need to cancel, if you do need to move a morning to an afternoon or an afternoon to an evening, just call us in advance and let us know so we can put someone else in your spot. No minimums, okay? A lot of moving companies have a minimum. Well, we're not just a moving company. We do deliveries too. We were even just asked recently, which I was surprised, is from Home Depot. They couldn't even keep up with their deliveries for water softeners and water heaters, so we started doing deliveries for them. But we do deliver everything. A lot of people don't know this about us, but we're probably one of the only movers in town that move jacuzzis, pool tables, chandeliers, hot tubs, jacuzzis, hot tubs, saunas. We do move saunas. We move just about everything. The only thing that we don't move, folks, is ammunition and fuel. Those are the only two things that we can't put on our truck. I even put a plane disassembled on one of our trucks once. So we definitely move everything. Getting back to my list here, I don't want to take up a lot of your time. Again, so no minimums. A lot of companies have a 3 to 4 hour minimum. We just don't do that here. Everybody's going to pay for the first hour, obviously. But then what we do is even 15-minute increments after that. As long as you're not 40 minutes away from our base, you don't pay for any drive time either. If you're over 40 minutes from our base, we do regretfully have to charge you drive time. But again, it's just the GPS time from our base at 2020 South Dean Road to wherever we're going to, unless it's you're local here. Let's say you're going to Tampa or way deep and way west of Apopka, where you're over 40 minutes away, then we just charge you the drive time back. So it's only the long distance part that we may have to charge you the drive time. Most people are local, though. Most people are within a 40-minute radius where we're located on South Dean Road in Orlando. Okay, and that is GPS time. And again, that's done in 15-minute increments as well, too. So if your move is 1 hour and 45 minutes, it would be whatever your hourly rate is for 2 men, 3 men, 4 men, whatever the case may be, times 1.75. Okay, so we do 15-minute increments. We only charge the hourly rate. Okay, so as for only charging the hourly rate, we don't have any surprise charges here. As a Christian, I just don't believe in those types of surprises. You will find that if you don't ask your mover, if they give you an hourly rate, if you don't ask them, you will end up with these surprises on your final bill. If you ask them, they must tell you those, so they will tell you, yes, you do have a fuel surcharge, you have a trip surcharge. I've even seen an MISC period surcharge on a customer's previous invoice, just miscellaneous surcharge. Tax, we just charge the hourly rate. That's it. Whatever your hourly rate is, that's all we charge. Some moves, we do a flat rate. Obviously, if you're going out of state, you're going to get what's called a flat rate not to exceed price. If you're a local move and you're a large 4 or 5 bedroom house move, and especially if you have a full pack, we will most definitely send a professional out to give you what's called a flat rate not to exceed estimate. Just like our hourly rates are flat rate not to exceed, our flat rate not to exceed prices are flat rate not to exceed. It's a legal binding agreement that we advertise and that we also put on our bill of ladings, on our estimates, that we cannot exceed those prices for any reason. It's a legal binding agreement that we cannot go over that price. Very, very important, folks. Whether you use our company or any other company, protect yourself. Flat rate not to exceed. No surprise charges. We went over that. Fine print. I always look at the fine print with our estimates and our bill of ladings. Obviously, again, you won't need to worry about the fine print as long as that flat rate not to exceed is on there. Competition. I don't necessarily worry about what they're doing. Again, getting back to the only thing I worry about competition is just staying, again, median price range, not the highest or not the lowest. Licensed and insured. Folks, let's talk about licensed and insured. You can get online tomorrow and have a licensed business by the end of the week. Any business, a moving company, or you make widgets, a 7-Eleven, you can have a business license for anything within a couple of days online. That's not what you want to look for with a moving company. What you're looking for is their IM number. It's an IM number, and it's given to us by the Department of Agriculture. You must have it to be a licensed mover in the state of Florida, and to get that, you must be insured. So what you want to do is you want to go to the Department of Agriculture's website and look for that IM number, and please do us all a favor, report anybody that does not have that IM number, because we do pay for a lot for our insurance. We pay a lot for our licensing every year, and it's only fair to all of us that licensed and insured movers are out there and not price gouging. Okay, what else do I have on my list? Actually, speaking of that, getting back to price gouging, that's the one thing we don't do either as a Christian company. Price gouging happens regularly with moving companies in large cities. So just like Orlando, you have a lot of people that rent and lease. The dates near the end of the month are always packed for professional movers like ourselves. That reminds me too, make sure you get scheduled early if you're going to be at the end of the month, at least a week or two in advance, because you most likely won't get a morning slot. You'll be stuck with an afternoon or an evening slot. Remember, anybody that rents or leases, when do they normally move? At the end of the month. But getting back to price gouging with competitors, ask your mover what their price is on a Monday, then ask them what their price is on a Saturday. They know the majority of people do want to move on the weekends, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, so their prices increase drastically for the weekends. They definitely take advantage of that, especially when there's a holiday weekend. We do not charge any extra for Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, mornings, afternoons, or evenings, or holidays. When you have a Labor Day or a Memorial Day weekend, that's really when a lot of people want their moves done, because that gives them a day to pack, or gives us a day to pack them, a day to move, and then a day to relax before they have to go back to work and maybe get some things unpacked. And again, price gouging, just watch the price gouging. You won't find that here. Employees are also treated like partners. I want to let you know, I know this may sound hard to believe, especially for a lot of you out there that own your own business, or you are the boss. I've honestly never had to call myself a boss in 23 years. In 23 years, I have not had to call myself the boss. I treat our men like partners. Of course, again, when you hire only professionals and you pay for it, you definitely get what you pay for, and I have. These are men that I can trust to show up on time. They set their trucks up themselves. They look at their bill of lading. They know what they've got to have on their trucks. These are not men that I need to follow around the parking lot like children. These are not men that I need to go to your home and check up on. These are men that I can trust to go and get the job done and get it done right. So we do treat them like partners. They are men just like I am. Occasionally I'll have a new employee that comes up to me and, boss, and I kindly remind them that you're a man, I'm a man, and we're here together to put food on our children's tables together. So let's do this together. Forget about the boss stuff. I'll do what I have to do in the office and with the business, and you do what you have to do out in the field, and let's make it work. Let's make it work. So our employees, they don't just come to us for the wages. They also come to us just for the simple fact that they're actually treated like a partner and not like a number or an employee. Okay, getting down to the bottom of the list here because we're going already on 14 minutes, and I'm sure you've had enough of me. I'm definitely not very video savvy. I'm a moving company owner, folks. This is not my forte, so I'm sorry about all the ums and the and maybe getting a little tongue twisted now and then. But this is definitely not my forte. But I do want to share with you as a active business owner, moving company owner. We only use large trucks. I think that we went over that. If we didn't, the large trucks, if you're a small 1 or 2 bedroom home, we only use large trucks. It definitely speeds up the moving process. The smallest truck we have in the lot is 26 feet. That's the smallest truck. A lot of times, if you've got a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment, they want to send a 16 or a 20 foot truck, and it's just a lot of time wasted packing and stacking a 16 or 20 foot truck, or even multiple trips. We just send you a large truck. You're what's called float loaded, or in your case, we'll call it floor loaded. Of course, your items are all still pad wrap and shrink wrap, but there's not time wasted packing and stacking. And this saves from possible damage too. Free wardrobe boxes and mattress bags. A great finisher here for my list. Everywhere where you see us advertise, I'm originally from Naples, Florida, the land of the rich and the famous, and also the land of the elderly. So I'm used to catering to people. And what I did was, and that's why I'm doing such good business here in Orlando, is because I still catered to people like I did down in Naples with the elderly and with the rich and famous. Judge Judy, Larry Bird, Mike Ditka. I've moved the home of the owner of the Briggs and Stratton family, probably one of the largest homes I built. Actually, moved one of the largest homes that I moved, actually, the largest that I can think of. There were a few with the Donahue family down there, but there was also the original owner of the eBay Corporation. He actually had 4 grand staircases when you walk through his front door. Not 1, but 4, with elevators between each one. That was quite the house. That was definitely the house. Briggs and Stratton, I took my daughter with me on that estimate because I wanted to show her. I asked the lady in advance, and my daughter was 13 at the time. She's 20 now. But I had to show her. She had a tree house that overlooked their lake that was bigger than my house, folks. So a lot of interesting people. But getting back to catering, we have free wardrobe boxes and free mattress bags in every truck. The reason I do that is so you're not going out and buying these big obnoxious boxes that you're never going to use again, okay? Or these mattress bags. A lot of customers don't buy them in advance or don't even know about them, and we want to keep your mattresses and box springs clean and free of any type of debris or dust, so we just provide them free of charge. The mattress bags are new. The wardrobe boxes we obviously reuse. These are not wardrobe boxes you can buy yourself in any store. There are big industrial sized wardrobe boxes we get from our distributor. They can obviously be reused. They're very heavy duty. They're very tall. We can do your full length dresses and shoes and purses at the bottom. But your hanging clothes, no longer do you need to throw them in the back of your car, fold them up and putting them in a box, putting them in a garbage bag. Wardrobe boxes are on the back of every truck for every move, whether it's a 1-bedroom apartment or a 5-bedroom house. They're on there. Mattress bags on every truck. Last and final thing I want to tell you about catering, like with the folks in Naples. It's not just about wardrobe boxes and mattress bags. We do it all, folks. And what I mean by we do it all, a lot of companies, they don't want the liability. They'll move your appliances, but they're not going to disconnect them or reconnect them. They're afraid of a flood damage or whatever the case may be, because they know their men are not 100% professional, and they're going to plug things in the right way and connect things the right way, like a water line in the back of the refrigerator. But again, especially dealing with the elderly down in Naples, Florida, I'm not going to go into an 85-year-old widow's home and leave her with her washer and dryer disconnected. So she either needs to pull these things out or hire somebody else to connect them. A water line on the back of the refrigerator, even her television set, DVD player in her entertainment center. I'm not going to leave it for this 85-year-old woman to pull these things out and plug them in. So we do it all. We do it all. When I say full service, we're full service. Again, pool tables, safes, jacuzzis, saunas. We move all these things, folks. We move all these things. We do take wall mount TVs down. We take the mounts down. The only thing that we can't do, which we get a lot of requests for, and I am sorry, we're not a GC. We're not a licensed handyman. We can't bolt things to the framework of walls. And what I mean by that is we can hang pictures, but we can't bolt back in your wall mount television. That we can't do. Other than that, I think that I've covered just about everything. Folks, if you've got any questions, sometimes, a lot of the time, I am available for you, or I will get back to you. I am an active owner. I am Curtis, owner of the mover of Move4ALL Incorporated. I am the owner of the moving company, and I am an active owner. I am here for you, but our staff is very knowledgeable. The majority of the girls that will answer the phone or do answer the phone for our company, unless one of them's on a lunch break and you get a bookkeeper. But the majority of the girls that answer the phone, they're very knowledgeable. Some of them even are movers. They're packers with previous experience, or I've taken them just like I have my men from other moving companies with quite a bit of experience. So I think I know they'll be able to answer a majority of your questions. Folks, have a wonderful and pleasant afternoon. Thank you very, very, very much for your time. Think about it, pray about it, whatever it is that you need to do to decide what is the best mover for you and your family, but we hope we're it. Thank you, and have a great afternoon. Thank you.